Hello world. Uh, I got another request, subscriber's request from this guy. Give me a second. He sent me this Lykan hypercar 3D model, which he's done, and he's asking to take a look at it and probably to see what would I do to fix it or to make it nicer. He's asking my opinion about it, and probably I'm going to start a new series, subscribers request. This one is a really active one. He's very enthusiastic, and he's asking a lot, but he's learning. That's a good thing. Okay, let's start it. From the first look, I think it's very good. So he's done a very good job. It's all very precise, very detailed. Yeah, it's really nice actually. So he's done a good job, and it's not that heavy at all. It is the geometry of it is extremely light. And look, I'm gonna change matte cap to the studio because to me it's more comfortable, personally to me. Okay, let's turn on wireframes. Where is it? And as you can see, it is not heavy. Geometry very optimized and looks relatively okay, but it has some little issues. First of all, you have to compare. You always have to compare to the reference in order to see what's going on. So probably he did use the blueprints to build it. I don't think it's possible to do that kind of precise model without any blueprints. So it's nicely done, but when I do 3D modeling, I try to avoid a zero thickness of the body. You see, the body parts, they have kind of zero thickness. There is no thickness at all. I'm always adding a solidify modifier, and it's probably a little bit too thick. Let's make it 5 millimeters. Actual metal is very thin, and a real car is 0.2 millimeters or something like that. And here 0.2 millimeters, it's gonna be way too thin. It's actually look okay, but I do it slightly more thick in order to make the cuts more pronounced, more visible. and let's start fixing it. First of all, it's also the all parts kind of joined into one. I prefer it to be separated, like hood and other elements. I usually separate them. So in order to separate it, select one polygon, click. I have to probably turn on the screencast. He has different layout, and I don't have a screencast in this Blender. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I'm pressed to increase selection of the element. Select just one polygon on the body and press Ctrl and plus button, and that's increase selection. And that way we selected the separated geometry element, and then press P, and now it's two separate objects. Hood is a separated object. Okay, then on a hood there is this one additional line. Here is one, and there are two lines too close together, two edges. If we use subdivision surface modifier, it's gonna lead to the issue. It's gonna be a little step over here. It's less visible now, but if we turn on the reflections, let me change material on it. Okay, let's make it silver. Here is still not very visible, but maybe we should change the color, basic color. Always try to avoid this lines close to each other. I have to make it more pronounced, more visible. Now it's not as visible. This little step, but it's what I'm trying to say. It's even now only here, you see, it's step. Even if we delete this one, dissolve edge, there is still a little step, and it's not desirable result. So we have to select this line and dissolve it. And also, this is important thing too, when you actually dissolving it by pressing X, there is a menu to delete it. You have to click on it with the Control pressed, because if you don't do that, if you just do dissolve edges, it's gonna leave. Oh no, they fixed it. Yeah, not actually, not completely, because we have a point right here. It's almost invisible. Yeah, it's actually been fixed probably because in a 2.6, in the Blender 2.6, you had to press control in order to dissolve it completely. And because the guy he tried to emulate thickness by extruding edges right here, because we have a solidify modifier on, we don't need it any longer. This this edge here, we can delete it. Let me show what I mean. Here we just can delete it completely, and let me show you what I mean exactly. Now solidify modifier is applied, and if we turn it off, it's become zero thickness. And let's turn it on, and we have regular thickness too. Excuse me. Okay. This was fixed. And let's change viewport material too. It's not changing. This is weird. I don't know why, but viewport material doesn't change for some reason. I don't really understand why. Okay, we just have to switch to this view always. And here, yeah, this edge, I don't think they have it on the original. Look, this straight edge, and let's check with the reference. I hope I have a reference with a similar angle. Yeah, they don't have edge right here. Maybe we should check another one. Just double check it. Not sure. Yeah, there is no edge here from there. This edge exists because of the these two lines, two edges. You don't need two edges here. You can always connect this, and probably in order to keep sharp angle here, you have to do this, make this edge, and just dissolve this one completely. And look, now it's smooth. It is really smooth and nice. Okay, what is next? And maybe you notice, like, when I get camera too close, the edges disappear. In order to fix it, you have to go here and change viewport clip start from point 1 to point 0 to point 01, and now you can smooth much. You can what's the word? You can scroll it very much closer. If you change it back to 01, point 1, look what happened. And put it point 01, and well, I hope you understand what I mean. I just forgot the word. It's scrolling this. I apologize for my English. I have to watch more shows in English. And similar thing here. Look, he has edge here, and on the original I don't think there is an edge right here. If we check on the reference, yeah, this area is smooth, and here we have an edge on the 3D model. And let's get rid of this one too. Completely. We didn't completely get rid of it because it's yeah, we have to fix this area. Like this, and dissolve this edge. Probably dissolve this one too. Yeah, now it's smooth. Probably we have to add here and dissolve this edge. It's all tedious process, but you have to get through that if you wanna get relatively nice surfaces, relatively good looking. And this method of modeling, it's still no good for production. It is good, could be relatively okay for visualization and conceptualization, if you know what I mean, when you just draw a concept. That's why I'm not modeling copies of the real car. I'm modeling only a car which made up. I do models cars which doesn't exist, and this method is okay for that because you can do changes relatively quickly. Hood, I think it's have been fixed. So let's see it, how it work with a subdivision. Turn on. Even without it, it looks very light and relatively okay. I think it's good like for computer games, because right now the whole body shell is just 20,000 faces and 40,000 triangles. For modern standards, it's at least for computer games, I think this model is a lightweight. Of course, it doesn't have any interior and wheels and other stuff, but body shell, this one has to look really nice, very smooth with all edges, with all surfaces like very well done, etc. Okay, now let's separate door and try to fix that one too. Separate it, and maybe we can hide all other objects, just not to keep them in the way. I think it is already their thickness, yeah. Well, door looks relatively okay. There are very few areas which are needed to be fixed. It's a double line too, right here. It's no good to have this line too close. Let's dissolve this one too. Okay. This process could seem very tedious and repetitive, but again, you just have to get through this. There is no way around it. For now, this way of 3D modeling is just neat processing like this. And again, it's no good for production. If you wanted to learn how to do 3D models for production, you probably shouldn't learn Blender. You have to learn Autodesk Studio tools for body shape modeling, car bodies modeling, and CATIA, and there are other programs too. Rhinoceros. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Rhinoceros. This is way too close to the side. Well, if model look good enough, especially from far away, I probably don't need waste too much time on trying to clean it up. Just be reasonable with it. If part is not visible, you probably don't have to waste too much time cleaning it up, I hope. Let's apply subdivision surfacing too. This area is a little bit weird because edge continuously go upper edge going, and it's turning other way around on another side. Is that same on the reference or not? I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's not turning other way around, it's just kinda fusing into one surface, merging into one surface. So it probably has to look something like this. Probably. That is how it was, and that's how it should looks like, I think. And maybe we even can dissolve this edge to make it smoother. Yeah. Okay. How does it looks like? Well, it doesn't look perfect, but at least we fix it in the way it's supposed to be, how it looks like on the reference. This probably were this pink faces. It's an indication that there was blueprints. There were blueprints. We don't need those. Okay. Door is fixed, and this area is particularly doesn't look okay at all. So let's separate it, pressing P, select it, and again hide it. If we turn off the solidify modifier, yeah, it's a paper thin, or has zero thickness here, zero thickness. And now the guy, he tried to he just extruded faces to the left to make it look like it has thickness in it. We don't need it anymore because we have solidify modifier turned on, so we can just delete it. We can just delete all the way here. We deleted it, and let's turn it on again. Make shade smooth, and now try to fix this. You probably tried to solidify this area too. Not solidify, make thickness of this area. That's why we have this border, this set of faces, which we don't really need to. I think we can delete it altogether. Okay. Let's use a solid subdivision surface modifier. And start to fix this area. Okay, let's unhide all the in order to see what kind of shape there is. Okay, the shape continues from a door under the hood. So we can just add edges and strategic areas. Here we have a little edge going down too, and it doesn't look okay on the reference. This area is smooth on the reference, and here we have to remove some edges too. Right. Let's temporarily turn off subdivision surface, and this way we can see which edges are extra edges and needs to be removed. Sometimes it's glitchy, the knife tool, and in order to avoid glitching, I change the view from user perspective to user orthographic. You just press 5 for it to change from user perspective to user orthographic. And with a user orthographic, the knife tool is it works slightly better, I think, because there are less glitches. Work more stable this way. See? This area looks weird. Probably just delete this extra edge. And if we turn on subdivision surface modifier, it's look relatively okay. It needs some more cleaning up. And as I told on a previous subscriber request, he sent me last time the wheel, you just have to get through it. In order to gain skills, you have to model a lot, and this way later you will be able to avoid a situation like this, weird stretching and weird shaping. It's just later on you will be able to see ahead of time the how shape and edges and how it flows. I got some issues here. Okay. Let's try to fix it. Yeah. We have two vertices in one position or close to each other. That's why when we turn on the subdivision modifier, there is a issue right here. Let's turn it off and let's fix it. Just move it slightly away, then select the second vertices and press Alt M. It means merge vertices, and select at last selected vertices. The one has to be fixed. Yeah, one we fixed it. There is another one right here. See the vertices? There are two vertices. Select the last one, Alt M, merge to the last vertices. Okay. In order to make it more realistic, the view, I usually turn on ambient occlusion, bloom, screen space reflection, and motion blur. This motion blur apparently doesn't work on my computer for some reason. I have an old one, so maybe that's why I have issues. Okay, here it looks kind of weird. Yeah, we have to add another cut. Still does look, it doesn't turn correctly. We have to have a back view. Okay. This area almost invisible. An original reference, this area looks kind of weird. But still, I think just by logic, if you follow the logic, this area, I think it has to flow like this. You have to kind of move it here. It has to follow the previous surface. It cannot be turning the way it's turning now. I mean before. Okay. It's just my assumption. I assume the shape is going like this because on the reference it's not really, it's not very visible. So I just assume it's going like this. And door maybe it doesn't follow the exact shape, or maybe it has to be a little bit out like this. Okay. And this, oh, it has two edges, upper edge, that's why it doesn't look correctly. We have to add some edges right here too. Yeah. That's how it looks like on the reference. And this has to follow the shape too. You see how it's turning? By the logic it has to look like this if you follow the logic. It's a rare situation when in design, in the body, on the car body shapes, there are angles like that. So, and only on the lower edge it's relatively okay. It's following the shape. Okay. The door cut line is way too thick. This area cannot be that much thick. Ah, okay. It just doesn't have an edge. We can manually add edge and now it looks relatively okay. One thing is because we changed the door in this area, we make it straight. This now it's moved. Yeah, like this, and we have to move it back, make it matching the door. Okay. Now it's closer to reference. This area look weird too and needs cleaning up. The scoop, let's separate it. Let's separate it and we have to take a look again on the reference. Okay. Where we can see the scoop clearly. It's that area is way too dark, and it's a carbon fiber piece apparently. But again, if we just follow the logic, let's try another picture. Nothing is visible. Maybe there are on the internet some pictures where that area is clearly visible, but just by following the logic, we gotta do it like this. I think it should follow the door shape. And again, the guy tried to add thickness manually, but in this situation I think it's better to leave it as it is. Only we can move this point. And scoop, it's always in order to get air get through it. That's why the scoop exists. This has to be, this big polygons has to be deleted. Real scoop like this, looks like this. Yeah, there is a grid probably in it somewhere. But for now, and again, just by following the logic, probably we have to make it following the edge of the door. In order to make the shape looks okay, we have to add a loop here and probably add a loop here. Right here too, it does look weird. If we add again the subdivision surface modifier, it looks relatively okay, but we have to keep some edges. For example, right here there is a sharp edge, and on the scoop there is no sharp edge because there has to be loops added. If we add loop here and move it, and add and move loop here, look, now there is a sharp edge. And on upper side it's probably similar, yes. Just have to add loops here, here, and here. And when we check it like this, it's better to add material. On a reference, it's probably carbon fiber piece, and here, well, I'm not going to unwrap and texture it for now. I can, for now, for this stage, it should be enough just to change it to make close to the shader on the reference. Just make it dark and maybe not as shiny. Well, it is shiny and reflective, so shine and reflectiveness we can add with a clear coat. Move it all the way to the 1. Yeah, and now it's shiny and reflective, and maybe even darker. Let's look closer to original. And even sometimes when I check on the reference, I try to always get shader close to the reference too, because it's in Blender it's relatively easy. You can just change base color to the dark, and move this slider a little bit, metallic slider. And the lighting is different on the reference. And lighting we can, well, we have presets. This is not close. This is a little bit closer. Just changing HDRIs, and I think this one is the most closer. To the lights on the scene, on the reference. Well, it's getting close to 1 hour, so already a lot. Probably for today, I think it's enough. Maybe it's just gonna be just part 1. Maybe if I have time, I will continue to cleaning up and fixing this 3D model. And if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, you can always leave a mean comment in the comment section below. Only now I noticed the hood needs a lot fixing, because hood right now doesn't look like original. It has edges, these sharp edges. On 3D there is no sharp edges, but still it's a good way, because I remember my first 3D models and they are so ugly. My first, maybe someday I will make a video with all my very early 3D models, how they looked like. They were awful. Well, part 1 is done for today. Bye bye.